today. My name is Tshwane, and our guest today is Professor Jannie Maree, who is the Director and Project Manager at the Reverse Osmosis Cooling or ROC Water Technologies.
Thank you, Jannes. ROC Water Technologies focus on the treatment of waste streams, solid and liquid waste streams from the mining and power station industries. So the aim is to recover saleable products such as drinking water and valuable products like pigment and also sodium carbonate from the waste streams.
Professor, in short, would you please describe the process of reverse osmosis?
Yeah, reverse osmosis is one of the 4 stages in the treatment of the waste streams. Reverse osmosis itself focuses on the desalination of saline-rich waters. So through pressure and membranes, drinking water, clean water is separated from the salt in the water. So that results in 2 streams, a clean water stream and a brine stream. The reverse osmosis stage is preceded by the pre-treatment stage, where chemicals are used to precipitate and neutralize the feed water. So salts like ferric hydroxide and aluminium hydroxide are removed and replaced with sodium salts, which are soluble. Then it is the reverse osmosis for desalination. Then the brine stream from the reverse osmosis stage is treated with freeze crystallization to further concentrate the solution up to the stage where salts precipitate. Salts like sodium sulfate and also calcium sulfate. The salts can then be processed further in a thermal stage to recover the raw materials or saleable products like sodium carbonate.
Professor, you've mentioned that this whole process and your organization, ROC Water Technologies, work closely with mines. What happened before osmosis was applied to water that was used in the mines?
Yes, legislation has become stricter over time. In 1980, when I entered the area of mine water treatment, legislation required that acid mine water need to be neutralized, only neutralized, and then after a permit was issued, it could be discharged into public streams. By 2000, legislation required that water need to be desalinated before it can be discharged into public streams. And in the early 2003, several large-scale desalination plants were constructed in the eMalahleni area. And nowadays, 2020, the requirement is even brines need to be processed. Brine since 2000 was allowed to be stored in evaporation ponds, but due to the disadvantages, environmental disadvantages associated with brine stored in evaporation ponds, it is now required that it be removed from the site. And this is where freeze crystallization comes in, as you can process the brine stream to recover more clean water and salt. And then this is where the thermal stage come in, is to process the salt to saleable products.
Professor, if we can now move over to the NSTF-South32 Award. What does the reward mean to you and to ROC Water Technologies?
I think the NSTF Award plays a very important role to show that science should play a more important role in decision making. If one see how science has developed over the years, even in the case of how we have used large computers in the 1980s, now we use cell phones, we have online meetings, online lectures with students. It shows that science can be used to to improve the living standard of the society. And I would also say in the case of science, once you have identified the problem, the chance of success, I would say, is 90% plus to come up with a solution. While if you have, on the other hand, has to come up with a solution through debates, you only have a 50% chance of getting us to an agreement. So therefore, I believe science should play a more important role.
Great. Professor, and then as researcher, what is that one thing that every South African should know?
Yeah, I think one can accept it through utilization of our resources, energy, water. There is enough sources available to support sufficient food for everybody. So through science, one can achieve that target.
And then, Professor, to end off our interesting discussion, what can we expect from you ultimately and ROC Water Technologies within the following 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, the focus up to now was to develop the technologies. We had the opportunity to demonstrate the ROC process with Water Research Commission support through the WADER program, and also through support from the Innovation Hub, who supported ROC Water as an incubator. So what the focus is for the next 2 or 3 years is to implement this technology. We have the fortunate position to have a demonstration plant at Thermal Technologies, where we treat brine from their operation, and this technology can equally well be applied to treat brine from the coal mines, the desalination plants at the coal mines, the gold mines, as well as power stations. So this would be our aim, is to get to the implementation stage for treatment of brine and the waste, solid waste from brine.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your time. This was Professor Jannie Maree, who is the Director and Project Manager at ROC Water Technologies, one of the 2021 NSTF-South Award winners.